head toward the Central American
home phone number. Then you're all set to order pay-per-view. You've got hit movies and big events that you can order toll-free. Just check out the schedule on the Comcast Home Theater Previews channel. Comcast Home Theater pay-per-view. You've got it because you've got Comcast.
Now your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
Thanks for joining us here at the Weather Channel. I'm Christina Abernathy. We've got some wet weather and even some storms to tell you about in the U.S. We'll have more on that coming up in just a moment. But first, our tropical update. And of course, all eyes are on Hurricane Bonnie. Here are the latest coordinates centered at 23.7 north, 71.5 west. That puts the center about 195 miles east of San Salvador Island. The maximum sustained winds now 105 miles per hour, moving off to the northwest at 6 miles per hour. The pressure down to 959 millibars. So we continue to see a strengthening trend with Bonnie. Has slowed a bit. We'll continue to watch it. There are some indications, again, that it may gradually turn to the north. That's one possible scenario. Still a lot of question marks with Bonnie, and we will keep you posted as things develop. What we do have right now are some hurricane watches and warnings here. The warnings are for the central Bahamas. The watches are for the northwestern Bahamas. And we also have tropical storm warnings in effect for the southeastern Bahamas. So again, there is still some warnings out there, watches and warnings to keep in mind. And of course, you'll want to remain alert if you live along the east coast here, especially the southeast coast. Again, still some question marks, and we're going to hopefully be able to clarify them for you as we go through time. But as for right now, what we can tell you is that we do see the eye here of Hurricane Bonnie. We do anticipate more strengthening with it. Again, it's going to expected to be moving into some warmer waters, and of course, tropical systems like that warm water. That's how they get their strength. So again, it bears watching at this point. You will want to look out along parts of the east coast. Just keep checking back in with us occasionally, and we'll keep you updated on the very latest with Hurricane Bonnie. One other final advisory to tell you about is a heavy surf advisory that's in effect here from Brunswick, Georgia, back to Jupiter Inlet, Florida. So what we're expecting is dangerous riptides possibility, getting some high surf, so not a good time to be in the water at this point. We're also watching a tropical wave here. We can see that off to the east. We're going to continue to monitor this because there is the possibility that this could strengthen further. We may have ultimately or eventually we may be dealing with a depression here. We'll have to keep a real close eye on this, and also on a tropical wave as it comes off the west coast of Africa. Well, we want to check out the Gulf right now, and more specifically, actually, we want to check out what's going on here in Texas, where we continue to watch the remnants of what once was Charlie, now just a sort of an area of low pressure and just dumping a lot of rain on southern Texas. We've seen tremendous rains here, and the rain continues to fall, very persistent, not showing any signs of letting up, and we do have some flash flood watches as a result of that, and we have had reports of over 1.5 inches to over 6 inches of rain that has fallen in some of these areas. As we head out into the Pacific, also keeping an eye on Hurricane Howard here. You can see that on the satellite view. The latest coordinates, 14.7 north, 108.6 west. That puts the center 595 miles west-southwest of Acapulco. Winds 150 miles per hour. Moving off to the west-northwest at 15. The pressure 930 millibars. And again, a very impressive picture here. We will continue to watch this area as well. Again, the big picture out there, we will continue to watch Bonnie. This is where Hurricane Bonnie is right now. Again, as things become clearer, we'll continue to keep you updated. Just keep checking back in with us. And again, just remain alert and remain aware of what's going on if you live along the East Coast. We'll watch what's going on in Texas and also what's going on here to the north. Potential for strong storms, and we do see some wet weather out there through parts of the Dakotas and into Minnesota and into Wisconsin, also the UP of Michigan and into lower Michigan. A close-up view, still the wet weather here. You had some rough weather around Minneapolis, St. Paul earlier, seeing some of that moving into Wisconsin right now. A sneak peek into your forecast Sunday morning. Again, here's Bonnie. Watching that into tomorrow and for the next few days probably. Our area of low pressure is still here, still providing you with wet weather in southern and western Texas. And here to the north, rain and storms. We'll be watching this area closer through the day on Sunday too. Well, stay tuned. Coming up next, we'll take a look at your local forecast. Don't go away.
Witness the power of the tarot.
With over 22 years of tarot experience, I have witnessed amazing changes. As an expert in this ancient oracle that dates back thousands of years, I will tell you everything you should know. Call now and you will be dealt your very own special tarot cards. Be prepared for an extremely accurate and revealing reading. Tarot cards should not be underestimated. These powerful cards may make all the difference in your life. They have ancient spiritual powers to change lives, reveal fortunes, even generate wealth. As an expert in this ancient oracle, I may reveal money matters, romantic encounters, how to avoid costly mistakes, your future happiness, and how to achieve your dreams. I want the cards to work for you and answer your questions. But you must call now.
Caution, a tarot card reading may be very personal and intense. Be prepared for amazing revelations. Call this special free number now. Call 1-800.
future. As this work is being done, you may experience temporary interruptions. We will do our best to keep this inconvenience to a minimum. And later this year, look for our brand new channel lineup. Thank you for choosing Comcast, everything you connect with.
Every day is new. We tell you about the weather right now. How will it affect where you're headed? What about your plans? People count on us to get them through the day. I love that.
Right now, it's your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
Well, severe storms across in the northern plains, heavy thunderstorms, upper lakes on this Sunday morning. Plus, of course, we have some action in the tropics. That's where we're going to start with the latest on Hurricane Bonnie, which has strengthened and slowed down and could threaten the east coast of the United States within the next few days. Although, once again, the track of the storm remains very uncertain as steering currents are quite erratic in the upper levels of the atmosphere. Right now, Bonnie out here is just wobbling. We have noticed, and you'll see it on the satellite, a little bit of a northeast wobble in the last couple of hours, but a general northwesterly track is expected to continue. That's where it's moving right now, moving northwest 5-6 miles per hour. Top sustained winds 105. Pressure continues to fall, now down to 959 millibars, and the hurricane is located at 23.8 north and 71.7 west, 180 miles or so east of San Salvador Island in the Bahamas. Speaking of the Bahamas, tropical storm warnings right now for the southeast Bahamas, hurricane warnings for the central Bahamas, hurricane watches for the western Bahamas, including Nassau. Latest colorized satellite picture, developments overnight, an eye has formed. You can see it right here. It's about 20 to 25 miles across. Surrounding the eye, of course, the central dense overcast, very cold cloud tops, an impressive system, and gradual strengthening is anticipated to continue for the time being. After all, there's good outflow in the upper levels, high pressure aloft, sea surface temperatures are quite warm. Steering currents have weakened, however, and notice as you watch the satellite picture in motion here, very little movement of the eye. If anything, just a little bit of a northeasterly wobble, but that may be just a wobble, and the entire system may begin or should continue its general northwesterly track, and that is expected to do for the next 12 to 24 hours. Now, the ultimate track of Bonnie, still a big question mark at this time, and therefore you should definitely monitor the situation. Right now, the official track takes Bonnie northwest and then recurves it along the east coast of the United States, just brushing the outer banks of North Carolina and then the Cape and the islands in the northeast. But there are other computer models, computer forecasts that bring the track a little farther west, and if that were to happen, then landfall could be a threat somewhere, let's say, anywhere from the northeast corner of Florida through coastal Georgia and the Carolinas. So we urge you to stay tuned as we refine the forecast and update Bonnie's track over the next couple of days. So with that in mind, on to the remnants of Charley. South Texas still producing heavy rainfall, Lavaca County, and out here in the counties west of San Antonio in the Hill Country, Real and Kinney counties, heavy rains continue. Since 8 o'clock yesterday morning, 3 to 5 inches of rain have fallen here, and before this Doppler estimated rainfall loop began at 8 or 9 o'clock yesterday morning, as much as 11 inches of rain had fallen already in Bee County and Refugio counties in central, southeast Texas, right about in here. Flash flood watches continue, including the Hill Country and the Rio Grande Plains, as well as the Rio Grande Valley. Outside the flash flooding areas in South Texas, by the way, beneficial rainfall continues. It's going to recharge the groundwater a little bit and also begin to help raise the water levels in these severely depleted reservoirs in South Texas after a very hot and dry summer. All right, more on the tropics. Weak tropical waves coming off the African continent. Another interesting development here. These are the islands, the windwards and the leewards. We see this flaring up, and although it may be influenced by a little northerly shear in the upper levels, northerly winds coming with the outflow from Bonnie, as it takes a track fairly far south, it could enter an area where conditions are more favorable for organization. So this system could potentially show some organization, some development the next couple of days. Meantime, we have powerful Hurricane Howard in the eastern Pacific. Top winds right now 145 miles per hour at 15 degrees north and 110 degrees west, 685 miles west-southwest of Acapulco, Mexico. Howard moving out to sea west-northwest, 15 miles per hour. Back to our water vapor loop. Fair skies in most of the west, but some storms have popped up overnight near Mount Hood in Oregon. Upper Lakes is stormy, and South Texas, of course, wet with the remnants of Charley. In the northeast, variable cloud cover, fog, showers and storms. Upper Lakes may track into the northeast later, including perhaps New York City, Buffalo, and Elmira. Right now it's fairly dry, though. Temperatures range from the 40s to the 70s. And across the south, Birmingham is cool, but it's warm in Miami. 81 degrees.
All this atmospheric energy coming together.
Drama, passion, suspense, tropospheric undulations. Every night on Weather Center PM.
People who've bought homes through a Century 21 office tend to sleep better at night. Maybe it's because we're the #1 real estate sales organization in the world. Or maybe it's because our agents have so much experience. Or it might just have something to do with the fact that when you buy a home through a Century 21 office, you can get an ADT security system installed, free. Maybe that's why so many people are sold.